A recent report by Container Exchange shows that container prices are declining in the U.S. by as much as 30% in the past 2 months across the east and west coast, and more than halved at the same port from 2021 prices. Bigger carriers, as per a report by CNBC recently, are shipping empty containers back to Asia from the U.S. to increase profitability and ensure that the high-value cargo from Asia reaches back to the U.S. where the demand is. In general, logjams and disruptions lead to increase in container prices, especially in second-hand container prices, because more container volumes is tied up along the logistics supply chain. However, Christian Rulos, co-founder and CEO Container Exchange, said in the United States there is a pileup of empties as those containers cannot be repatriated back to Asia because of several disruptions, one after the other, in the past 2 years, and more recently due to the China lockdowns and Russia-Ukraine crisis. If you just joined us, you're listening to Maritime at Port News. After signs of progress that the backlogs of container ships stacked up outside port might be easing, it appears that the trend is reversing itself, with lockdowns impacting the movement of vessels at the major Chinese port. The congestion appears to be spreading to other ports around the globe. New data from Windward, the maritime AI company, shows that a fifth of all the world's container ships are stuck in port congestion. Further, they calculate that a quarter of all the ships are specifically stuck at Chinese ports. Carriers have been struggling to manage these schedules, which have already shown low reliability. Now, there are increasing reports of the number of container ships diverting away from Shanghai, but that is adding to the delay at other ports such as Ningbo, Wuhan, due to the added volumes, or carriers are resorting to blanked sailings. The increases align with the lockdown in Shanghai that began at the end of March. Just before that, Sea Intelligence reported the first improvement in schedule reliability in 2 years, while nearly 2/3 of all container ships were still behind schedule in February 2022. Sea Intelligence monthly global liner performance report highlighted that reliability returned to levels not experienced since mid-2021. Further, they reported that the number of days vessels were behind schedule, while still high, had also improved. The lockdowns in China are heavily impacting the congestion outside the country's port. Data pulled from Maritime artificial intelligence platform and released on April 19th indicates that the number of container vessels waiting outside of China's ports today is 195% higher than it was in February. In a final story, container and bulk ships are skipping Asia's largest refueling hub in Singapore as delays at port in China and elsewhere prompt vessels to reschedule their stops to save time. A total of 3,020 ships called at the city-state to refuel last month, 441 fewer than a year earlier, according to preliminary data released by the Maritime Port Authority. Fewer ships are stopping at Singapore as congestion at port globally prompt companies to skip the transit hub between east and west. Shanghai's lockdown to contain China's worst COVID outbreak since 2020 has created gridlock at the world's largest container port, with queues of vessels building there and at other stops handling diverted shipment. The situation has put more pressure on already strained global supply chains. Hundreds of bulk ships are waiting off East China to unload raw commodities and are likely to refuel in Guangzhou or Wuhan instead of Singapore to save on time. That will be all for this morning's edition of Maritime and Port News. Maritime and Port News is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. Remember, they provide you with the best in oil shipping solutions. You can contact them at the Shippers House in Accra. I am Nanisi Boateng, my producer. Quick work watching. Have a great day.
Yenso akwan suju medie hia mo man bia nkanko e Ghana eku wiase na di wiase so ba Ghana Shippers Authority ani so ade hunu ne se ye bebuo nso so adwadifo e wo haw bia wonam mu efri no ma ayra di aseye sika yaje wa emfa kwan so eni haw ahodo pi ye nya adaje kire nso so adwadifo eno ma eko se de be ya wo beti ase ye ni so